We've got a special guest, of course. Most of you may not know him, but you know what he's done. Micah from Tribu. So, Micah, I know you told me a few years ago you were going to do this here, and well, it's here. Like, awesome, awesome, awesome.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Super stoked. This is an awesome location. We couldn't be more proud to do like the Jackalope Festival in Mississauga, Celebration Square for the next 3 years.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just here. I mean, you started in Montreal, Virginia Beach, first Canadian company to have a big event like that, which is incredible. And now you're talking worldwide, right? Like, it's amazing.
Everything started in Montreal in 2012, and now we expanded in the US and Virginia Beach for the last 2 years. It was awesome. 50,000 people right on the ocean front. And this is the first year in Ontario, in Mississauga. We kind of battled the rain a little bit in the last couple of days, but here we are. Like this is a beautiful day, and it's going to be an amazing first edition.
It's amazing. You look at all the talent from all the countries over here competed today. I mean, everything from the vert to the street to the groms to the pro. I mean, it's just incredible. You've done an amazing job here. And yeah, Jackalope Mississauga. Yeah.
Let's go.
What was some of the biggest challenges in producing like an event? Like you produce some of the biggest events, if not in North America, the world now. Like it's amazing.
It's all about the team effort. Like there's a big team behind us, whether it's the internal staff at Tribu that produce a lot of different events, such as Jackalope Epic, which is a ski and snowboard festival, Crankwork Summer Series, mountain bike festivals. But yeah, it's about the team. Like if we can get the right sponsors, the right partners, the right destinations, the team makes the dream happen. And it's no longer a one-man army. Let's put it this way.
No, I mean, look, I work with a lot of your team, and it is a team effort. You got great people here, great volunteers. The city has been amazing. Samsung, major sponsors. It's fantastic. And you've bought your own vert ramp, which there was only a handful of these made, which is awesome. It's incredible. I believe it was made in Germany. You got the Birch. The guys just love riding it. You got just incredible riders riding it. Mitchie Brusco loves it. He's giving us both hands up there. And he's probably the most technical rider in the world right now. Andy Anderson's going to try that one of these days. He's moving over, which is great. So what other countries are you, can you tell us, or is it a secret right now? What countries are you working on?
We're working in a bunch of different countries to bring the Jackalope experience. Right now, with Canada and the US being covered, we still want to, work a lot in the US because the US is a massive market, but our partners in the city of Virginia Beach are awesome. And for now, it's kind of how can we build this thing internationally? Ideally, we would have 10 Jackalope a year and make it a season. And I think countries like Brazil would definitely be a good fit. Countries like in the UK, France, Spain. I'm talking currently with folks in China and also Dubai, but these are very preliminary talks. So you never know, but you got to entertain. You got to show up at those trade show and entertain the conversation. But my dream is to make skateboarding one of the biggest sports in the world. And this is, again, going to be a team effort. But I believe in vert, and that's why we've purchased this vert ramp.
And you look at the he did 900. I don't know, about 6 times. It's crazy. Which I believe is the first time in Canada, which is awesome here at Jackalope. And yeah, I believe you will get those other countries. I've been to a few of your festivals, and it's just amazing the impact, and just you involve everybody in the community, right? It's not just skateboarding street, it's vert. You've brought vert back, which is great. You have Andy Anderson over here doing some freestyle with the great freestylers. You got all your booths. We got these Jackalope talks now where people get to ask questions, which is awesome.
I think it's about the culture and the community. So like for us, bringing bouldering, you also have of course you have skateboarding. Skateboarding is the pillar sports of the Jackalope Festival and Jackalope experience. So street and vert, but adding bouldering, base jumping, motocross. You also have breakdancing or breaking, like 50 vendors, food trucks. Our events are free for the public.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the beauty of it. Is like, how can we get more people exposed to action sports? And I think this by creating some events like that.
And I think that's one thing you've done successfully more than any other organization. You've got the sponsorship and the cities to see the value of making events for free. And you can see, I mean, I think we had 27,000 people yesterday. It was incredible. And that's just the people we knew that were here.
Yeah, we were blessed. Like lots of people showed up in the last 2 days. The count is currently at 30,000 for Friday and Saturday, but we got rain a lot on Friday. but it's part of the game. Today we also had some rain, and we'll see the final numbers, but I think around 40,000 will come to the first edition of the Jackalope Mississauga. In Montreal, we had 25,000 people in the Olympic Park. We're about to move it to the Old Port. So that's September 13th to the 15th. So Montreal is going to be pretty epic. So come check it out. But really, it's about creating like this world tour. And I think creating more opportunities for the riders and the communities to come together and celebrate in such a festival way.
Now, there's a couple of people who had some questions before we go to the audience here who had to go somewhere else. One of them wanted to know how many hours sleep do you get, because you do so many events and you're like around the clock. I know when I text you, you answer right back. It's crazy.
I'm always connected. I'm always available. If I'm not answering, it's probably because I'm in a plane or I'm sleeping. But I love my job. I look at it from it's my passion. Everything started way back, in '99 when I saw Tony Hawk do his 900 at X Game. I was in the middle of nowhere, 3 hours north of Montreal, as a young kid watching Tony's doing his thing on my small square TV. And I lived in a dirt road where my only neighbor was a barn. So imagine the scene. Like, I'm a young kid watching Tony do his thing, and I got inspired. So I then started a skateboard brand called Ripper Skateboard, my first business. Eventually started Jackalope in 2012, and fast forward to 2017, that's when Tony came to Jackalope in Montreal. That brought us a lot of attention. He came back in 2018, and then in 2023 in Virginia Beach when we launched in the US. And that was huge to have Tony's blessing, and we saw the power of his brand, but we also saw the power of Vert. Vert skateboarding is awesome. I love street, don't get me wrong, and I love all sports, but I think the power of Vert is something that can capture everyone's attention and can really, in my mind, be a huge spectacle that everyone and anyone should experience once in their lifetime.
Well, and to your point, look at the vert ramp right now. Look at you got all these riders up here from across the United States, Japan, US, Florida, Detroit, Ohio, California, Toronto, Mississauga. It's amazing.
Just right now watching Guy Curie, fly, right? It's crazy. We got folks from everywhere, and
they make it look so easy. Eh? It's like, it's unbelievable. I think like you said too, there's something captivating about vert. It's a big ramp. Even people who are walking by, who may not even be attending, just walking by, they all look there. Kids look there. Babies look there. It's just a great thing to watch, right?
I think everyone would love to fly one day, and those guys are flying.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's why it's captivating. And then as you get into the sport and you kind of understand the trick and you understand the personality of the different athletes, young, established legend, up and coming athletes, it's just so beautiful for me to watch. I personally can't skate vert. I wish I could, but I'm mesmerized every time I see somebody flying. This is Colin Graham.
Look at Tom, guys. Look at that.
Virginia Beach right there.
Beautiful, Tom. They make it look so effortless.
That's Emma from Japan doing back-to-back 900.
900. I saw it last. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, so you've got people now approaching you who want to be here, which is great. Do we have any questions from the audience they'd like to ask? Okay, 1 second. So the question from Mike is, which we talked about earlier, which is great. You got this for 3 years. What are you talking about next? Where are you going?
That's a great question. So we're going to build, the foundation in Mississauga and really kind of build on top of it. Right now, we're estimating around 40,000 people for the inaugural year. We got digital counters at each of the gates where count the cell phones that go through the gates. So that gives us a very specific number in real time. And at the end of the day, it's kind of how can we expose more people from around the world to action sports, the beautiful sport of skateboarding, rock climbing, base jumping. So if we can add more stuff, and in my world, ideally, we would give more money to the athletes before adding more sports. So we're working with our programming team and with our sponsors and stakeholders so they can recognize that, yes, this is awesome, but we need to give more money to the riders. But at the end of the day, it's a delicate balance on, okay, if you're spending more money on here, does that mean you're taking out of here and here? It's a free outdoor event. So the budgeting is very delicate, and sometimes they're surprised, like the weather. But to answer the question in a short sentence, I would say we have plans to grow a global world tour for Jackalope, ideally 10 stop a year, maybe 24 at some point. F1's doing 24 race a year. So let's go. We're ready. Like, let's bring this vert ram and this concept around the world.
Good question. So he wants to know if you think Saudi Arabia or the Middle East would be a good destination for one of these. See his head going there and the smiles.
Marhaban. Kaifa haluk. That's my only Arabic I know. But yes, I would love to go to Dubai or Saudi. I'm actually talking to folks that own real estate in Dubai, but I'm not sure if it's gonna fly because they do have a small space. It's a shopping center. It's called the Mirex Group, or they call it the Street. But anyway, we'll find the right partners, and we're in no rush because we don't want to go somewhere and be out after a year. We always do 3 to 5 year minimum when we go somewhere. So it's really about not taking a quick bag of money and putting a show for 1 year and then next year not going back. You know what I mean? So ideally, we find the right partners, the right destinations, and then once they agree, we can move forward and really build on that for the long term.
Okay, Micah, one thing I want to ask you is, did you ever realize that this become as big as it has when you first looked at that idea? Like when you sketched out in the paper and you said, I don't know, because I mean, you look at every barrier that you've gone through to get to where you are today. If someone told you to do it, you probably would have. They said no.
That's a great question. I would say it's no longer about me. It's about what the athlete and the industry want. If you ask me what I personally want, I want more opportunities for the riders, for the athletes, and for the communities to come together. But at the end of the day, if everyone wants more as well, and we can build on that, I'd be more than happy to be like the spokesperson of the sports and keep pushing. I'd rather be behind the curtain and let the athlete speaks volume. And I think everyone's kind of waiting for finals to start. So, I think let's get this thing started. I will let the guys kind of ride and do their thing. I want to thank the city of Mississauga. I want to thank all our partners, Samsung for sure. Thank you, Jay, for taking the time to organize all those talks. And we'll see you on the road.
All right, give it up for Micah, founder of Jackalope. Yeah.